What we're gonna do here is some breathing, okay? I'm gonna put this on your nose. You're okay, don't worry. Keep your lips tight though. It's never boring, if that's the right word. Even though at times it was pretty hectic and pretty involved, I think every day the challenge in the diversity of the job, that's probably why I've been here this long. Okay, big breath. Hard, blast it. Push, 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 push. That's better. I do enjoy the younger kids, even though they're quite a challenge. That was a good one.
My name's Beth Humphrey, or you might know me as Beth Creedon, or you might know me as Beth Sarver. I've worked here 25 years, and I work in the radiology department, and I used to work in the food nutrition services department.
And my name is Sharon Crawford, and I've been in radiology for 25 years.
That's one of the funny things about being a 25-year employee is it's a big deal, but there's so many more people that have been here for so much longer.
I'm Linda Allen, and I've been working at Maine Medical Center for 50 years, and I have laryngitis. I've never been bored. I've always found it interesting, and I've always found it challenging. So I'm going to stick around for another year or two, maybe.
I work in the engineering department. I actually started as a painter here back in '73, and that's who I supervise and manage now, is the painters and the carpenters.
When I first got into healthcare back in 1984, prior to that I'd been in the hospitality business. And I had a young family, so I said, healthcare, that's got to be a lot easier than hospitality. Wrong.
The marketing department was looking for an ear to profile as a picture, and they wanted to use this ear, as a picture to say that Maine Medical Center listens to you, right? And so they used my ear, and it came out in the newspaper. And I vividly remember my wife looking at the picture and saying, "Is that your ear?" And I said, "Yeah, it's because, I listen." And she goes, "No, you don't. You don't listen at all." And I said, "Well, at Maine Medical Center, I listen."
I was actually hired originally as the bookkeeper for Maine Medical Center. It was a one and only position.
I started out as just an ordinary cook. They sent me on a wild goose chase my first day. And they sent me downstairs to the kitchen to get a bucket of steam.
It's the one thing you can count on, change. I may have been in the same position for 25 years, but it's not been the same job for 25 years.
Property management didn't really even exist when I first started. We had approximately 50,000 square feet of off-site space. And in the last 15 years, we're approaching 900,000 in square footage for our off-sites.
And if anyone were to walk into my cubicle, you can very plainly see what motivates me. This is my son's daughter, Brooke. Kevin and Brooke were born here at Maine Medical Center.
My son was born here. Both your children were born here?
Both my children were born
Isn't
here.
that amazing? Yeah. They weren't in this kind of room, huh? Things have really changed, huh?
I remember having a very cold room. Yeah. It was so cold they had to go and get heated blankets for me.
My 4 children were born here many years ago, and 2 weeks ago my first grandson was born here. So we have a real close attachment, personal attachment to Maine Medical Center.
My lead person brought me upstairs to have a room painted. So I was the manager at that point. And this woman came out, and very pretty lady. And 30 years later, we're still married, so.
It was last year, and it was around this time. I was invited to come upstairs, and they started calling off people's names, to give them their recognition for being such a good person, a great worker. And they called my name, and it's bothering me right about now. I didn't expect, I didn't go there for that purpose. I thought I was going to go there to serve and carve. They called my name, and they gave me an Employee of the Year award for customer service. You see, I'm holding back the tears now. At that time, they were flowing. I needed a couple of sponges.
Maine Medical Center is about people. It's about people working together, taking care of people. It really is a special place.
It's going home after having a crazy day and thinking that you've helped pretty much everybody you've come in contact with. You've helped teach the students, you've helped somebody who's been in pain.
When you are talking with someone and you say, "Oh, I work for Maine Medical Center," and they'll relate some kind of an experience that they've had. Most of the time it's been very positive, and you can feel, even though you're not in direct patient care, you're still a part of this family, and everything that we do here has always been for the patient.
I'd venture to say that all of us feel like we're serving not just our own goals, but also we're serving the people in the hospital. I really enjoy doing that. I enjoy serving people. I enjoy accomplishing things for people, making places better for them.
I really am an advocate of customer service, whether it be a patient or a coworker or a person in off the street. And when I used to work upstairs, I used to call myself Julie from the Love Boat, because I was helping field everybody. What's going on? What do you need?
Me 5. No school this week, huh? I've been fortunate in many ways, and I think it's been helpful. I've enjoyed it. I look back, it doesn't seem like 40 years. They say don't blink because it goes by so quickly.
I am proud of making it to 50 years. I didn't think that I would, but then my mother worked till she was 82, and I'm not going to keep up with her.
I am planning to retire on September 2nd.
How are you? Good, how are you?
I've been here a lifetime, so I do want to volunteer so I can stay a part of the hospital experience and still see a lot of the people that are in the hospital. I just could never imagine just walking away.
That's my wife, Terry.
Hi.
The young lady sitting over there. I pretty much work with her all day, but at times she calls for my attention, and she gives me a hard time. People come in and they want to know, you like your job that much? I said, why? I said, because you're having such a great time. I said, I have a free spirit, and I can't let anything dampen that. If anybody wants to work someplace, it doesn't get any better than this.
There's a lot of great things going on. There are challenges every day, and probably on every floor in this building. But if you're up for the challenge, this is the place to be.
How are you?